Okay, here we go. So, today we are playing a little game called Kingdoms and Castles. It's a little, I guess, city building, kingdom building game on a small map. As you can see everywhere, we got little fishy guys here, right? We got trees, we got all this stuff, the different colored land, all of this, right? It's a fun little game. That has actually a really active admin, or whatever you call them, dev base. They just keep coming up with new content, adding it to the game, and considering where it started, it has come a long way, and it's pretty cool. This game's fun. Well, let's just go easy, man. I'm boring. I'm boring. I'm just gonna go easy. Oh, don't look at that. But you can choose banners. Okay. You know what? We're going with it. It's just a picture of Larry from SpongeBob with milk in his pouch. That's what we're gonna call that. And he's making a silly face. Haha. So. Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there's the picture. We'll call ourselves Larry's Boys. That's our kingdom's name. So let's get started. I'm gonna type in a random seed. Let's type in Larry Boy. Yeah, let's make it a large map. It can be land, it can be island. Let's do random. Rivers, random. Let's see if we get one that's cool. This one's pretty cool, right? Can make one huge kingdom here. Although, you know what? Why don't we do islands instead? Oh my god, look at the fish on this island. This is absurd. Well, you won't be in need of food, that's for sure. That sounds kind of fun, actually. Where else can I go? We can go here. Lots of fish still. Multiple island, make bridges. Wow, they all have a lot of fish, actually. This one has stone, but does it have... It has iron right there. But although it's a bit inconvenient. But you know what? Screw it. We're going to Fish Island. I don't even care. The other islands are probably better, but we're going to Fish Island. And I'm going to add in a few AIs. Maybe 2. No, let's do 3. Let's make it interesting. Who cares? They can be any level. Random will surprise. Oh, let's do random. Let's just do random. Okay, let's choose this map. So, this game. So this is our island. We own this island. This is where we live. We're the king. And I guess it's showing us these other islands. No, we get to choose our island first. That's fine. We've already chosen Fish Island. Fish Island is based and cool. So let's put our thing on this yellow grass. Because if you click on it, you'll see that down in this bottom right corner that is barren. So it's not going to bear any fruit or food. This is fertile. And if we get this dark green, it's very fertile. So you don't really want to build too much on the fertile land because you need that for food. Of course, we don't need that because we have a heck of fish. So let's just put it. Let's put it here. Why not? And then we can start building. So we start down here in the bottom left. You can see we have 5 civilians, 2 which are idle, and these are our resources: wood, iron, tools, stone, coal, and armaments. And then there's gold and food, of course. And yeah, let's just start building. It's a fun little game. They've added in so much. When I first got the game, this whole row, they did not have aqueducts and reservoirs. They did not have Noria. I'm not even sure if they had butchers or swine herds at that point. Um, they had fishing huts. No, I'm not even sure if they had any of the meat when I started. I could be incorrect though. Over here they had all this, and then all of this new stuff, and these tabs we don't even have yet. It's amazing how much they keep up with this game. But since we have people, we need to build roads. How could I forget? Where's the entrance to our castle? It's right here. So we'll build a road right there. And where should we put the huts? Where should we put the huts? Maybe the hovels. We can put one there. Why not? So it's cool, you know? And we can get these guys, once they're finished with this hovel, I want them to cut down all of these trees right here. So cut them down, boys. And we might need a storage spot. Actually, we don't, because you can store a lot in the castle itself. I guess you can't see the storage, but it's in there. And of course, we have advisors who will tell us what to do for military, for city, and ag. They used to really bother you. They used to be at this top part, and they'd keep popping up and telling you to do the same thing over and over. And I guess people complained, and they changed it. So the devs, you know, they listen, and they keep making a better game. Okay, I just keep saying that, but it's true. Okay. So give me a break. But if we zoom out, we see that this is Larry's Boys, our country. And these places we previously had seen are grayed out. They're unknown land. As you see, we chose the smallest island by far, with the least amount of dark green space, but we have abundant fish. So what we're going to do is become fishermen. Although this island's really cool. I kind of wanted this one because of the center part, but you know, that's really not a big deal. The only problem with a place like this is that I can't put too many there for future building. So we'll build the path going down this way. Yeah, we'll just build it all the way down here. And we'll put a house right here. And so you need to build extra houses to attract more people to your town. And as you can see, we can get all the way down in here and see these guys carrying wood and hitting with their hammer. This guy's called the Miggler. Okay. 21 years old. And here's, oh, where'd you go? Brett Henry. Yeah, that's my boy Brett. It's cool. But we'll need to start getting a lot more resources, and we'll have to make the people happier, as well. Let's see what we can do fish-wise. So it looks like we need stone and gold to get this fish going. So before we do that, let's just put in a small orchard, just for now. So that we have some degree of food and we don't starve to death. It will also need a quarry to get ourselves some stone, but we need a path first. Realistically, you can just put a path right here and build the quarry right next to it. You don't even need to connect it. I like to connect it. It's, you know, it gives you that vibe, but you don't have to do it. But you know, talking about cities is something that's been on my mind recently. Is Hong Kong, man. Hong freaking Kong. Now, I've got a bit of a history with Hong Kong. Um, the past like 3 or 4 times I've been there, I've gotten sick. So I was coming back to the States, had to go through Hong Kong for transit, and I was just there for like a day. We went out that night, had some beers, picked up some baked goods, and I don't know, I ate something bad and I had food poisoning. Pretty bad, where I was incapacitated for like 3 or 4 days. So I got to come back home to the United States, and I'm chilling, and we only had 2 weeks back, and I spent like 3 or 4 of those days more or less incapable of doing anything, which was really, really sucky. And like, I wasn't bedridden, but I needed to be near a bathroom at all times, if you catch my drift. And it was a bit annoying, you know. And the time before that, I got freaking COVID in Hong Kong, and I had to quarantine there. It's a really long story, but the gist of it is, I was going to China, and I was, again, going through Hong Kong to come to China. This is right when China opened back up after COVID. And I was there for 5 days waiting for my next flight. I felt great every day. Maybe I went out, even if probably wasn't supposed to, and took tests every day, submitted them to the officials, because that's what you had to do every day. And I was good for day 1, 2, 3, 4. Day 5, the morning I have to go and take my flight, I get a positive result. So I have to sit in Hong Kong for ultimately ended up being like 3.5 weeks because I had that positive test. Because it's not just once the test isn't positive you can leave. It's after it's not positive, and not positive for a week, can you leave. Luckily, it was only 1 week in a hotel room, locked in. And then after that, I could move a little more freely, but it was, listen, man, it was chaotic. I moved to like 3 different hotels in the time in Hong Kong. And I had to go and do testing every couple of days just to see if I was getting consistent negative tests before I could come back, go back to China for school. And it was it was ridiculous, man. It was ridiculous. Where's all of our wood? We used it all. It was just absolutely ridiculous. Kind of funny, I'm not gonna lie, but ridiculous. And that was that second time. Then the other time I got sick in Hong Kong, it was just the same kind of deal. But that time it was like a flu or something. I went, stayed for a day, came back, boom, flu for like 3 or 4 days. So it's like Hong Kong tries to kill me, man. Hong Kong wants me to die. It wants to get me sick, and it doesn't want me there. But I love it. I love it, man. The thing is, if you've never been to Hong Kong, if you have the opportunity, just go. I know not everyone can have all the savings and all that, but it's really the most expensive part. Well, no, in Hong Kong's kind of expensive, but like the big thing is just the flight. The flight is definitely expensive, and it can be quite taxing as well because it's a long flight. But if you can, I definitely highly suggest making your way out to Hong Kong because it has everything. It's at some points it feels like a futuristic city. At other points, it gives you this like vibe of the previous century, because I've had enough time to explore many parts of Hong Kong, and you literally get everything. You can walk through these, dirty alleyways, eating cheap food from, cheap street food from these roadside carts, and maybe, visiting the bathroom a few minutes later. But then you just hop on the subway, you get a taxi, and they got the kind of old-timey taxis, and you can head down to a district where it's just shopping malls like you've never seen before. All of the biggest brands in the world, huge, shiny, gorgeous buildings, and everyone it's just so put together and beautiful, gorgeous. But then you hit to the other part of the city district where you kind of get more old-time buildings, and you kind of get the sense of an older culture and like a Hong Kong culture that you won't necessarily always get in other places. Just an old-timey Chinese culture, a different kind of Chinese culture, especially than you would get on the mainland. But at the same time, if you explore long enough and you go through these park paths and stuff, you can find yourself in this thicket, this tropical thicket, and you go through, and a different world opens up. There's one time I was walking through this mountain, and they were doing construction on some electrical stuff on the top of this little mountain, and I went down this little dirt path I saw at the side, and I ended up in an old fishing village with tons and tons and tons, just dozens of little wooden boats docked on the side. It was low tide, and old buildings made of wood, some of concrete, with old-timey storefront signs and stuff. It looked abandoned, but I think some people were living there. But that's what you get, like it was like walking into like a fairy realm in this middle of this bustling, huge, metropolitan, futuristic yet classic city. There's just a little fishing village, so you get a taste of what Hong Kong was. It's not all paved over. It's still there, and you walk out of the thicket, walk literally like 50 meters out from the thicket is a beautifully paved road, fresh, new apartment buildings going 40 floors up, a huge hospital, new hospital, gorgeous hospital, nestled into the side of a mountain. And that's the other thing. Everything's nestled into the sides of mountains. If it's either nestled into a mountain or it's close to the bay. So you're either, and frankly, even if you're nestled in the mountain, you're close to the bay. And so you have these beautiful sights everywhere you go, where you have man's greatest, tallest constructions and pure, untouched, natural green beauty. They have these highways that are raised up too, and they go over the docks, and you can see trade from all around the world, ships coming in, ships going out, huge container, those shipping container like storage areas, and they're raised up, and you can be on these double deck buses and going on these highways over the bay and seeing the commerce and the nature and the city and everything all at once. And you dive into the city, you get that crazy density, but not far away is genuine untouched nature on these mountains. On the mountains you can go up, and they're not like catered little parks and this. No, it is untouched natural beauty, and you can climb up, and they have temples up there, Buddhist or Taoist or whatever temples up there, and you can just do that in this crazy huge city where it's so futuristic, metropolitan. We're a small village, great, we have 25 people. But at the same time it's a place of abundant natural beauty, which is almost, it's kind of mind-blowing, no? It's fantastical. So it's like anything you can imagine, Hong Kong has. Anything. You'll be out there and you'll see people out on the streets lining up for little ice cream trucks that come by. Ice cream trucks. Maybe I didn't say that correctly. And they'll be lining up to pick up ice cream, standing in front of like a Zara store or like the biggest, most futuristic Apple store you've ever seen in your life. And then you walk 20 minutes and you're sitting at the bayside. And there are guys out fishing, people walking their dogs with little bags of like soap water. So if the dog pees on the sidewalk, they clean it up. And you just transported somewhere different. And so I'd say in Asia in general, but especially East Asia, China, Korea, Japan, they're all relatively xenophobic societies. And so as a foreigner, it's never really easy to actually blend in, right? You can't really become, if someone comes to America, for example, they're obviously, right? I'm not, obviously there is still like you're Chinese, but you're American. You're Chinese American or American Chinese, however you want to say it. But at the end of the day, if you run into a more open-minded person, they are American. They're just American. There isn't really any of that. Well, you're not real American because you're not white. There are people like that. Okay. But at the same time, it's not always like that. But in East Asia, you will never ever escape that. And so, foreigners are usually given pretty limited choice in terms of like jobs and shit like that, or stuff like that. And you don't really fit in, But in Hong Kong, you see people from everywhere working all kinds of jobs. I've seen like Pakistani Indian guys working as garbage men. I've seen freaking like I don't know, European American, I don't know, whoever, working even in places like 7-Eleven and stuff like that. I mean, like, it's possible, there isn't that level of discrimination. So it's like open. And it's just so cool. It's just so cool. You can get anything, everything. Experience almost approaching rural like conditions. Oh, it's a dragon. Whoa. Experience crazy urban density, experience beautiful nature everywhere you go, inclusivity and diversity of culture and commerce. And nowadays I can't really say much in terms of its economy. I don't know. I'm not an economist, I'm not an expert. But it's a freaking awesome place to visit and potentially a cool place to live. Maybe. I don't know. I've considered going to school there because I've spent some time hanging out at the university, and it's just, I don't know. I just love it. It's super cool. It's super, super cool. So, I guess, just as I've been saying, if you have the chance, get out to Hong Kong. Get out to Hong Kong. It is so cool. I guess that's it for my Hong Kong spiel. So I'm now going to, I guess focus on the game a little bit. We don't have to worry about that dragon. Oh, here he is. He'll light something on fire. Let's see what he does. Come on, dragon, let's go. No? Get out of here. Yeah, get out of here, loser. What's he gonna do? Is he gonna kill these wolves? As you can see, we have a pack of wolves down here. Uh-oh. Okay. Get out of here, dude. Get out of here. Yeah, leave my fishing village alone. Leave my fishing village without any fish alone. So we're aiming for this treasure room. It lets us levy taxes, and then I can start building fisheries. And now taxes, right? Yuck. But with the tax room, we will be able to better create better lives for our people. A bit of sacrifice. But that means that I'll need to prioritize these jobs. Otherwise we won't be able to get any gold to levy taxes. Come on, build it. Speed up. Build it. Go. Alright, so here's my job management tab. Where are the tax collectors? There they are. I feel like timber workers are more important, but tax collectors we'll put there. And for the timber workers, let's give them like I can't make a stockpile, okay? Tell you what, let's build a house so we can attract more people. Awesome. And, you know, unfortunately, I haven't been to too many cities where I feel the same way. I've been to Tokyo. Tokyo is cool. Don't get me wrong. It's really cool. But you don't get that same feeling you get in Hong Kong. But then again, I haven't spent too much time in Tokyo. So I feel like that's maybe not a fair comparison. When I went to Japan, I spent most of my time in Hokkaido, the northernmost island. Spent some time in Sapporo, spent some time in a little town called Otaru, spent some time in a town called Asahikawa, I think? Yeah, it's Asahikawa. And they have a zoo called Asahiyama Zoo. Sweet little place, cool little place. It's like a zoo that primarily has like Arctic or just or Antarctic creatures. They have penguins, so they have both penguins and like timber wolves, and then like red pandas for some reason, So it's interesting. But I'll tell you one thing though: in Hokkaido they have really nice. Oh, let's up my tax rate. In Hokkaido they have really nice venison. They have some kind of native deer there that they'll hunt and stuff like that, and is quite delicious. Had a nice little venison curry. Wonderful. Let's check out jobs. Are they nice? They're all filled. Cool. Here we go. Stockpile. We'll just put it right next. What's their range? So I'll put the stockpile like here, maybe. It doesn't matter, actually. We'll just put it next to them. Look at all those fish. But, Japan in general, I would 100% suggest as well. It seems really cool. And, I'm a little biased. I haven't been to Korea. But anything I learn about Korea kind of makes it, like, really unattractive to me. And most of the cool stuff I see in Korea is, like, they have it in China and Japan. But, like, China and Japan also have more to do than Korea. I will give Korea this. They have really sold themselves as something cool and interesting. Um, they're good at that. They're real good at that. Oh, they want charcoal. I see. Well, do we have enough people for charcoal? Not really. We need another house. So they've really been able to like sell like the whole Korean culture thing, K-pop and all that stuff. But it is incredibly uninteresting to me. Apart from that, I'm not sure if there's anything that's really all that attractive about Korea. I'm sorry to say. I know that sounds mean. But you know, I see, oh cool, the temples and the ancient culture. Oh, it's like Chinese or Japanese temples, but like slightly worse, or like kind of just copied. Oh, the food, they have like kimchi, I guess, and you know, some other stuff. Okay, fun. you know, and okay, I'm being mean, and probably ignorant. I will admit, probably ignorant. But I'd like to be wrong about that. I'd like to be wrong. I'd like to hear that actually they have something really fucking cool and they're better than China or Japan. But take a bit of convincing. Of course, you know, I've had quite a few Korean friends, and they're all great. So I can't really complain about Korean people. I just don't really love the society and, you know, the values. Then again, I don't really love the values of Chinese society either. Oh boy, castle's on fire. Huh? It's still on fire. What are you doing? Oh, never mind. Luckily we have our well right here. This is kind of sweet, you know. You can come down into this little eye level. And I can see, here's this guy standing at the castle. But right in front of the castle, you know, we have our little village, right? It's a little tucked in little place, cute little area. You know, and as you see here, oh, never mind. You know, and right next to it is a tavern. And right back there, we have our well. And of course, our beautiful orchards right behind the house. Could you imagine having an orchard right behind your house? Ah, heavenly. Heavenly. Awesome. Let's make some charcoal. Charcoal burners will go... don't really have a good spot for these, huh? Let's check. I'll put them maybe here. $10 jobs. So these will all be filled, and then, okay, great. And then once these builder jobs are gone, nice, excellent. And let's give them a little stockpile as well. Maybe right here. But you know, there's no shade towards Korea because they have the best League of Legends teams in the world. So, and you know, I'm a bit of a nerd for that. I like watching that. You know, you know, guys will watch basketball, football, whatever. I couldn't get into it, but you get me into that nerdy games stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah, I turned into a real. I'm just like all those guys. But I guess to talk about this game a little bit. As you can see, it's pretty simple. So nothing really has upkeep other than, if we look here, Ballista Tower. it will say workers and wages in its description, right? So wages obviously is upkeep. So if you want to have a very strong defense, you will have to have soldiers, which have upkeep, which means you need to levy taxes. But that's the only upkeep there is, right? And these, things like these orchards and stuff, they don't really suffer from blight, but as you can see, you get bonus for fertility and bonus for workers who have become accustomed to their job. And so it's easy to stockpile resources. There's not really a lot of upkeep, and you can just, it's a little more, it's simple in that way, right? And so you can focus on just making an aesthetically pleasing city, which honestly I think the graphics lend towards, a kind of homey, nice feeling. And you can focus on development. And there isn't really conquering. You can, like if I went to this island over here and I would just wanted their area, their space, I can conquer. But you can also just like, if no one's living here, you can just colonize, right? But otherwise, and they added in a bit ago that the whole conquering and diplomacy type thing, just pretty sweet. It's pretty cute. It's nice. But it's just focusing on making a beautiful area, making your people happy, keeping them healthy, and just, I guess, the aesthetic and the simplicity. But let's get some fish. Come on, let's get some fish going. Let's face it this way. We're finally gonna get some fish. This is gonna be good. And we'll need to build a fishmonger after to chop up the fish. So you see here, these guys just walk underwater and come out. Oops. This is pretty funny. What I like is this pooled water on the ground sometimes look like it's a graphical bug or something, like the world has become transparent. Maybe that's how they do it. I don't know. It's pretty funny. Let's see. Will we have enough for fishers? We might not have enough for fishermen. So we'll have to build a new house. We need more stone, man. It's taking so long on the stone. 20 per year. With no staff. We need to up that priority. We don't need stockpile workers up that high. Alright, here's our fishing hut. Let's find our fishmonger. We need stone, right? And here's our little fishing boat. Look at that. Cute, right? Out he goes. But of course it's not a purely casual game. You do have the dragon that shows up, and eventually you have Vikings that come and raid. And I think sometimes they take people or resources. 7 workers though. Maybe we build the house first. But it's a sweet little game, and I usually play in short bursts of maybe an hour here or there, and I've accumulated a good amount of time. And you can reach eventually if you really start building, we won't need too many farms. We're gonna have you need a couple, because if you look at health here, in this bottom left. Peasants want wheat and bread, fruits, and fish/pork. They want all 3 to have best health. So you do need a little bit of all of them, generally speaking. Although you can get away with doing just 2. But eventually this whole thing could just get turned into one massive town, with a bit of farm space. And then usually, yes, like maybe one area where you have one or two of these foresters so you can have a continuous flow of wood. That takes a while, but you know, it's obviously possible. It's quite good. I built that house. Let's go for the fishmonger. Once we have the stone. There's one more stone. So let's build that fishmonger. Woohoo. Although my concern is it might be smelly. I wonder if you can put it next to homes. Oh, if tools are available. I see. We don't have tools yet. You would need to build... You need iron for tools. You need a blacksmith. That's a bit awkward, isn't it? So never mind. We shouldn't build a monger. Do people eat the fish though? They do. Okay, that's no problem. Screw it. Why don't we put in a little farm? We'll put it over here. And I built it in this little formation because in the center you can build a windmill, but we need stone. And this windmill will give you more food. So ultimately, it's good. All right, that's health. Let's check happiness. They're happy. They're really happy. Great. How about them? A little less happy. But no complaints, right? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, sometimes you can click on them. I don't know if you saw that one just pop up. You can see a little flavor text. Likes the sound of rain. He's a grandmaster agriculturist at 28 years old. Damn. Good for you, man. Has bad teeth, this guy. Eager to sleep. It's kind of fun. But as you see, we've gotten ourselves a bit of industry going. We got a forester, we got a charcoal, we got stone, a little bit of fishing. We're a thriving little town, aren't we, Larry's boys? Isn't that right, Larry? Oops. Got that tag there. Let's see what else we can build. I kind of want to build a library or a clinic, something like that. How much do we make per year? Get me out of this. Get me out of this. How much do we make per year? 9 per year. So if I wanted a clinic, the wages are 9 per year, which means I'd be getting no gold per year. Which means I wouldn't be able to build things. And I'd have to probably increase taxes, which is probably a bad idea. So we're not going to do that. Let's speed up time a bit so we can get more stone. I find this little animation to be cool too. Pulling a little block out. The other thing to note is that like stone and stuff is an infinite resource. You don't actually run out of the stone, so it will be there forever. And these little black ones are called unusable stone, as you see in bottom right. And you can clear them out with something called rock removal, which is this one. But you need 10 tools, so you need to be able to get over here to mine iron. Then you have to use that iron and charcoal, which if you play this game, you'll find out you need a lot of charcoal to build tools, 10 tools to take out 1 stone. Was it? Yeah, 10 tools to make the blacksmith to take out 1 stone. And tools, they're not like, it's not like tools are difficult to come by, but they are quite costly to create. Because iron is technically like a higher level than stone. Stone's a basic one, iron's like 1 level above, and that's as far as this game goes. But all of these, empty cave has to be used with tools. These 2 rocks have to be used with tools. All of these rocks, tools. All of these tools. So I need literally hundreds of tools that will just go straight down the drain to remove these. Because if you remember from earlier, the fishmonger needs tools to cut into multiple servings. The butcher needs tools. The baker... No, the baker doesn't use tools. Builders will use tools as well to speed it up. And they have limited use, right? So they will degrade, essentially. They will consume tools. The jousting arena, I believe, uses tools, or it uses weapons. Theater doesn't. So, you know, it's a bit silly to remove these. But ultimately these are also kind of like, you only really remove them once you have a pretty bustling city already. I want the windmill above the stockpile, because you need to operate the windmill for it to have this effect. But we see now, if we look at our health, our peasants have access to fruit, fish, and wheat/bread. So they'll be very, very healthy. And that makes them happier. Oops. It just makes me think, get rid of the castle. I don't know if that really existed like in Hong Kong. Yeah, to bring up Hong Kong again. But you have this little village, people living, working. You have the little fishing area, a little bit of an orchard. It makes me wonder if you took this kind of city, right, and pushed it into the future. Brought it into a world of globalization and commercialization and all of this, and how it would fare, what it would look like, what it would feel like, And, I hesitate to say, this kind of places have more authenticity. Maybe that's just my projection. Maybe it's me thinking people lived more authentic lives back when things were like this. But at the same time, it makes you a bit, it kind of makes you nostalgic for a time you never really had, It just makes, it's a curiosity. It makes you think, well, how were they living? What was it like? What would it be like to be there at that time? And then you nestle it in this totally opposite world. It's a time capsule, It's pretty remarkable. Let's build a new home so we can get more people. Oh, we've gotten an obscene amount of charcoal. But we will be running out. In the future. No need for any of those. Excellent. We have full workers for the most part. Little bustling town. Let's check the castle. Treasure room's nice. Hall of Diplomacy is good. Chamber of War is good. Great Hall is just for show. Barracks is good. Archer and Siege. These are all good things. And an Archer Tower. I don't think I'll do that. Frankly, we don't really need to worry about war. We can make a town square, but I don't really know where to put it, you know? I want to put it here, but it's kind of close to the charcoal. Again, from a game perspective, I don't think that matters, but from an RP perspective, I don't think that's good. And so I could put it here, but what if I want that farm space? Ah, screw it. We'll put it there. Directly across the entrance to our castle. Yeah, right? I think that's appropriate. And right next to our beautiful orchard and farm. I like that. Oh, no, we don't need to do that. Oh, look at this. Little pumpkins for Halloween. Huh. That's cute. So you can spend money to hold a festival. It makes people happy for a short time. Like, really happy. I'm not going to do that because I am a cruel dictator. And I want to use that money to build something else. Like a clinic. Because eventually we're going to have sickness. And we're going to need a clinic to make sure these people are happy and healthy. Let's put the clinic... behind the orchard? Yeah. Imagine that. You go through the orchard. No. I'm trying to kind of like partition. I want to put my fishmonger here eventually. So I don't want to put the clinic there. Clinic next to fish. It'd smell unholy. I couldn't do that. Maybe we put it here. But you come to party next to the clinic? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, you know what? Maybe here. Why don't we say our king is a nice king and he visits the sick and takes care of them? That's what I'm going to say. And so he wants them as close to him as possible so he can be kind and just and compassionate. What's this? They want a church or library. They want a church or library, the peasants do. We could do a church. Let's do a chapel. But we'll need some stone. So kick it into overdrive, boys. We need stone. Tell you what. How many people we got? We got 13 idle. Okay. Slow her down. Quarry. It's quarry time. Let's go. Build that quarry. Give me some stone. We're gonna make a chapel. Now, the chapel would be funny to put next to the fishmonger. Imagine you're at church and it just reeks of fish. That'd be kind of funny, no? But it's on the water too. So you're going here and you have this nice glass window facing out to the ocean. I think that's nice. But it's gonna reek of fish, of course. It must reek of fish. that is my prerogative. Here we go, big harvest, boys. We've got tons of food, good health. People are happy. What more can you ask for, you know? I think you can put limits on. Right, yeah. Ultimately you can. Let's build this chapel. Let's get ourselves a priest, you know? Hello? Chapel. Finish the chapel up, boys? 24 stone? As you can see, this little area it shows is the area of effect. So all the homes within this area, so this one maybe won't be affected by the church, but all the other ones will get a happiness boost. It might already be there. Town square, tavern. We'll wait for it to be built. Uh-oh. Fire at the charcoal pit. Isn't that what you want? Good job, boys. Ah, there it is, the chapel. Beautiful, isn't it? Right on the water. It actually is quite nice. And so let's check. So if I open this one, you can see it's happiness. Modifiers. So the church, +3. Let's see if this one has the church. It does not. Ah. But this one does. What's going on? What's that dragon? Look at him go. He's not already leaving. He didn't even visit us. What a jerk. I wanted to get attacked by the dragon. But I'd say now is as good a time as any to leave off. So this game is called Kingdoms and Castles. I'll give it a quick save. Oh, no, don't look at my save names. And we'll quit to the, yeah, I guess we'll quit to the main menu. And so, yeah, it's called Kingdoms and Castles. It's got an active dev base, DLC. As you can see, they have a new game coming out, Nova Roma. And, hell, even if you're a streamer, it has stream options in the settings. You can see enable Twitch chat voting and all this kind of stuff, which is pretty cool, you know? And so I'm pretty excited to see where this game will keep developing. And you know, what you saw in this video, it was only really the basics. There's diplomacy, there can be war if you want to do war. There's things like aqueducts and grand libraries and chambers of war and all this kind of thing, you know. And they're just going to keep adding and adding and adding. So I definitely would suggest picking this game up, especially on sale. It's already cheap enough as is, but on sale, it's almost like a no-brainer. You can easily get at least a good dozen hours of fun out of this game. But that'll be it for today. So thanks for watching. I hope you didn't mind my little rants about Hong Kong and all that kind of stuff. So if you enjoyed, please leave a like, comment, tell me about a city that you've been to that you like, or really anything that's on your mind. Subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. So take care.